Daria Dugina, daughter of the spiritual guide and major backer to President Vladimir Putin's military invasion or war in Ukraine, Alexander Dugin has been bombed to death in Moscow, the Russia state capital. Daria Dugina died on Saturday evening while returning from traditional festival where her father delivered a lecture on tradition and history when bomb device suspected to be installed in the Toyota Land Cruiser she was driving went off on the public road at a village near Moscow and the car caught fire. New York Times described Daria's father, Alexander Dugin, as the master planner of Russian invasion in Ukraine. Details of the report and activities of Alexander Dugin promotion of war in Ukraine are presented below as reported by CNN. A car bombing in a Moscow suburb that killed the daughter of a Russian ultranationalist who helped lay the ideological foundation for President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine has injected new uncertainty into the war. Russian authorities said Sunday they had opened a murder investigation after the daughter of influential, ultranationalist philosopher Alexander Dugin was killed by a car bomb on the outskirts of Moscow. The Russian investigative committee said it believed someone planned and ordered the car explosion that killed Daria Dugina, based on evidence already collected from the blast. Taking into account the data already obtained, the investigation believes that the crime was pre-planned and was of an ordered nature, the investigative committee said in a statement Sunday. Dugina died at the scene after an explosive device, presumably installed in the Toyota Land Cruiser, went off on a public road and the car caught fire at around 9 p.m. local time on Saturday, near the village of Bolshie-Vyazamy, according to the press service of the Russian Investigative Committee, as reported by the Russian state news agency TASS. Dugina's father is a Russian author and ideologue, credited with being the architect or spiritual guide to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. He is purported to have significant influence over Russian President Vladimir Putin, and was described as Putin's brain by Foreign Affairs magazine. Both Dugin and his daughter have been sanctioned by the United States. The United Kingdom sanctioned Dugina in July for being a frequent and high-profile contributor of disinformation in relation to Ukraine and the Russian invasion of Ukraine on various online platforms, it wrote. Videos of the explosion showed a vehicle on fire at the side of the road and smashed car parts strewn across the surrounding area. One unverified video appears to show Dugin at the scene. Russian investigators believe an explosive device was planted in the car. A friend of Dugina told TASS that he believed Dugina's father was the true target of the blast, or possibly both of them, as the car belonged to Alexander. "It's her father's car," Krasnov told TASS. Daria, drives another car, but she drove his car today and Alexander went separately, Andrei Krasnov, head of the Ruski Gorizont, Russian Horizon, social movement and a personal acquaintance of Dugina's family, told TASS. A Russian foreign ministry official implied that Ukrainian state structures were responsible for the explosion, a claim that Ukrainian authorities have denied. Dugina died at the scene after the explosion, say investigators. If the Ukrainian trace is confirmed, then we should talk about the policy of state terrorism implemented by the Kyiv regime, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said in a Telegram post. There have been plenty of facts accumulated over the years, from political calls for violence to the leadership and participation of Ukrainian state structures in crimes, she said. Ukraine on Sunday strenuously denied any involvement in the car explosion. Ukraine definitely has nothing to do with this because we are not a criminal state, which the Russian Federation is, and even more so, we are not a terrorist state, Mihailo Podolyak, advisor to the head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, said in a Ukrainian TV interview. Flames completely engulfed it. When Dugina turned onto the Mashayski highway near the village of Bolshie-Vyazamy, there was an explosion. The car caught fire immediately, Krasnov told TASS. The flames completely engulfed it. She lost control because she was driving at high speed and flew to the opposite side of the road, Krasnov added, as cited by TASS. In the meantime, forensic experts, investigators and experts in explosive engineering are inspecting the scene. Dugina, the daughter, was born in 1992 and studied philosophy at Moscow State University, according to TASS. In March 2022, the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, sanctioned Dugina for her contribution to an article on the United World International, UWI, website suggesting that Ukraine would perish if it is admitted to NATO. Dugina was UWI's chief editor. She claimed in a recent interview with the Russian news channel, 1RNK, that the atrocities that happened during the Russian occupation of the Ukrainian town of Bucha were American propaganda, chosen because of its phonological similarity to butcher, a word she connects with U.S. President Joe Biden calling Putin a butcher on March 29. Both Alexander Dugin and his daughter have been sanctioned by the United States. CNN visited the scene of mass graves in Bucha in April after Russian forces had withdrawn, revealing the horrors of their occupation to the world. Images of bodies lying strewn the streets of Bucha sparked international condemnation and investigations into potential Russian war crimes. Multiple eyewitnesses and footage have connected many of the atrocities to Russian soldiers. Her father was also sanctioned by the United States in 2015 for being responsible for, or complicit in actions or policies that threaten peace, security, stability, or sovereignty or territorial integrity of Ukraine. The U.S. Treasury Department also said that Alexander Dugin was a leader of the Eurasian Youth Union, which actively recruited individuals with military and combat experience to fight on behalf of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic, and has stated that it has a covert presence in Ukraine. In an interview with CNN in 2017, Dugin remarked on many similarities between his ideas and those of former U.S. President Donald Trump. He called Trump's inauguration speech discourse as if I would write it myself. He also said that Putin provided inspiration for Trump, a kind of example to challenge the status quo, to challenge the conventional wisdom, challenge all this totalitarian principles of globalists and ultraliberals. Greater than #Alexander Dugin appeared to have arrived on the scene shortly after the explosion that killed his daughter, herself an ultra-nationalist that called for the Ukrainian genocide and mass executions. He was probably expected to get in the car with her. pic.twitter.com/na3uyod1qj. Greater than Igor Sushko, at Igor Sushko, August 21, 2022. Greater than this is going to continue to escalate. I hope it's not a CIA op under this administration. Greater than Will, at Will_OC_BA, August 20, 2022. Greater than the car bomb was almost certainly Russian infighting targeted at her father. But she herself was a legitimate military target. Greater than Danish NOF 0 supporter Nin1, Denmark, at Nin1 Nafo, August 21, 2022. Greater than what a family, man facepalming, pic.twitter.com/j6wtg7lunchm. Greater than MS, at Manfred Staniuk, August 21, 2022. Greater than it is not a thumbs down. He holds up his hand to block light from his eyes. Greater than Boosty, at Boosty_, August 21, 2022. Greater than the person who killed his daughter is not the person posting this. The tweet doesn't use a celebratory tone, only points out the karma, the irony. Everything about all of this is sad. Greater than _ at EasyGoEasyCome, August 21, 2022. Greater than so the vehicle was vaporized but there is no scorch on the ground or surroundings. Intriguing, I wonder what they used. Asking for a friend. Greater than Better Than Toast, at Toast Than Better, August 21, 2022. Greater than the Russian-speaking part of Ukraine would almost disagree. Greater than peachneon.oki, at the Peach Neon, August 21, 2022. Greater than Daria was coming home back from a traditional family festival in which her father was giving a lecture on tradition and history. Greater than Daria's innocent blood spilled today is on the hands of NATO and the US. Greater than Marwa Osman vertical bar Murut Heathman, at Marwa_Osman, August 21, 2022. Greater than photo, Daria Dugina alongside her father Alexander Dugin attending a traditional family festival in Moscow region just hours before the tragedy, August 20, 2022. Greater than Marwa Osman vertical bar Murut Heathman, at Marwa_Osman, August 21, 2022. Greater than Nazi sympathizers? Really? You must only receive Rus TV and news. Open your eyes. The new fascists have showed themselves. And it's not Ukraine. Greater than Eric Slot, at Eric_Slot, August 21, 2022. Greater than unfortunate and sad, but I wouldn't label it a huge failure. Terrorism is not that difficult in a country like Rus, these days, and with the resources of UKR/US/UK. Simply impossible to prevent all. Greater than crumbling empire, at crumbling in Pier 1, August 21, 2022.